going on, everybody? My name is Manager Marco from the Not So Famous podcast. Welcome to the next episode. Um, Again, if you want to follow it, please go to uh, anywhere where you can stream podcasts at Apple. Follow my podcast. Leave a comment, hopefully a good review, so on and so forth. Share. Tonight, I have I really wanted to get this guy on. I really wanted to get him on. I first found out, and it was funny the way I found out. I just, there was a group called Sudden Impact, and they were the five white guys in the Boyz II Men Motown Philly video, and they kind of were just kind of a flash there in the video. They pointed at you, and then some years later, I like listening to podcasts, and I see Dave Holmes from MTV has this podcast. I believe it was called Brace for Impact, and it was about these guys. Whatever happened to them? And I was like, wow, can you really do a podcast about that? 8-9 episodes? Man, was it? It was the most downloaded podcast that year, and it had my attention. I'm going to go back and listen to it again because it was that interesting. So tonight, and we'll get into our story in a second, but I want to bring in my guy, lead singer from Sudden Impact, my man Aaron Kane. Aaron, you there? Looks like we had a little. There he is. There he goes. Aaron, my man. What's up?
What's going on, Marco? How you feel, man?
Man, I feel good. I want to thank you for your time. I know it's been, it's been a little bit of a jumping through hoops trying to get you on here for various reasons.
I apologize for that, man. And
you don't have to.
Well, the reason is, man, I'll tell you, is because, man, in my career, dude, I have done so many podcasts, radio shows, TV shows, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I keep telling the same story over and over and over, and I feel like at this point in my life, like, I really don't have anything else to say. Like, if you want to know the story of Sudden Impact, it's out there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's definitely out there. You know how we just had the #1 podcast in America like 2 years ago with Dave Holmes, the DJ from MTV.
Yep.
And everything, and that was really, really big for us, man. And I think that's actually how I met you, isn't it? Isn't that how I met you?
It is because I listened to the podcast, and
Right.
they had you on there. Obviously, they tracked down all the members,
Right.
And and I listen to this stuff. I don't skip through. I listen intently, and
Right.
he said Aaron Kane lives in wherever you live, close to me.
Right.
And I was like,
Which
holy
is
shit.
crazy.
Right. So let me reach out to him, and then we'll chop it up, because I don't know what you're doing. I don't know if you guys are back together. I don't know if you guys were attempting to get back together. In my head, I'm
Marco,
thinking.
let me say this, man. The
Yeah.
only reason why I am doing this podcast with you, look, people, after the Dave Holmes podcast, I had so many people reaching out. I mean, we did interviews with Billboard. We did interviews with Yahoo Music, Apple Music, and it just got to the point, like, to be honest with you, man, like, again, I want to apologize for taking so long to get back to you, is because you about to get some exclusive shit, bro. Because I'm tired of saying the same thing. Can I curse on here or no?
You can say whatever you want.
Okay.
Say whatever you want.
So I got tired of just saying the same thing and being like, yeah, we were with Michael Bivins and New Edition and Boyz II Men and Leon, and like just telling the whole story and acting like everything is okay.
Right. Well, so here's the thing about my podcast is I don't want to ask cookie cutter questions.
Right.
I don't want you to be oh gee shucks, those are my dudes. Like, nah, man, we don't. I try to like get deep into your head
Right.
and things, and I want to hear stories. Like you told me some stories that are just great. You know, you can go into them. You don't
Right.
have, but it's just to be there. Like, so you know, some of the audience that I have, you know, would really appreciate, you know, and we're gonna get to everything, you know, and
Right.
your feelings of everything in a minute. But like, you know, in my head, you know, if Sudden Impact was able to get their shit together, and we'll get to that, you know, the people that I roll with, and you know, from bookers to agents to even, you know, the people I work with and I'm friends with, you know, it could have probably, it would have been a really interesting ride. So let's get into it, right? So
Right.
Sudden Impact. We'll go over. We'll try to be as brief, or not brief, but just without having you repeat everything again. You guys were signed to Michael Bivins, right? You guys were signed to Michael
And
Bivins.
the way the whole thing happened was just absolutely insane. I mean, you know, New Kids on the Block.
Of course,
You know, that's your people,
sure.
and we love New Kids on the Block. You know, um, I actually am like a sports guy, right? Like that was my God-given talent. Um, I was like the baseball star in my hometown,
Mm-hmm.
and I had to make a decision when I graduated high school: be on MTV and sign this deal with Capitol Records, or go to school and play baseball, right? So, which sucks for me is because I'm actually considered wasted talent in my hometown. Like that was my God-given gift, was baseball,
Baseball,
right?
right?
But this kid had this group going on. I used to sing a little bit, you know, in high school, this and that. Nothing like chorus or anything like that. And it's just so crazy because this kid asked me to go to the studio one night, and I'm like, studio? What studio? Go to the studio. We record this stupid little song, and it caught the attention of Cecil Jenkins out in Norfolk, Virginia Beach, or something, and he was the best friend of Marvin Gaye. Okay, and we did like this. Carry Me Back to Virginia. It was like a anti-drug song. We did a couple concerts for him as a group, and Cecil was going out to LA because Marvin Gaye was getting his star on Hollywood Boulevard. And us being so young, my parents weren't down with that. They was like, hell
No,
no. My
right,
brother
right.
was in the group too, and my parents was like, "Nah, you guys are 16 years old, you're not going out." So anyway, these two kids in the group, they ended up going with Cecil Jenkins. Went to Marvin Gaye's, you know, getting his star on Hollywood Boulevard, and Michael Bivins from New Edition just happened to stop by during the ceremony and everything,
Right.
and we had this little bullshit poster up. We had one song, Marco, right? It was called Please Be Mine, written by Fred Webb and Tim Bird. And it was terrible. But, you know, it was what it was.
Right.
And we had a poster done up that we took underneath the Chesapeake Bay Bridge in Virginia Beach. And they had the poster. Michael Bivins ends up showing up at the Marvin Gaye thing, and the two kids that was in my group ran up to Michael Bivins and it was like, yo, can you sign my poster? Can you sign my poster? And he was like, man, get that New Kids on the Block shit out of my face.
Right.
Because, you know, at that time, like they're friends now, but at that
Yeah.
time, you know,
Yep.
New Edition had some feelings with New
Of
Kids on the
course.
Block because they felt
Yep.
like Marty Starr started a white version of New Edition.
It's exactly
So
what it
he was
was.
like, man,
Yeah.
get that shit out of my face. And they was like, no, this is us. This is us. And he was like, what? Get out of here. And at the time, he had a 3 artist production deal with Gerald Bugsby.
Yep.
And he already had
Go.
Boys Men, and he had ABC, and he needed one more. And here's these 5 white kids with a poster. Oh man, let me see what I can do with these kids. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Right.
Dude, got a call. I'm sitting at home one night. Me and my brother said, get a call from Biv, man. And I'm like, Michael Bivins, get the fuck out of here. This ain't Michael Bivins. Sure enough, it was Biv. Wanted to sign us as a group. He didn't want to sign us to Motown. He had a buddy over at Capitol named Step Johnson, and wanted us to go to Capitol. We went to Capitol, signed which we thought was a record deal, but was actually a production deal for Biv.
Right.
But Biv put us in Motown Philly.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So here you got this white group that has one song and a poster.
Right.
And is in Motown Philly video with Boys and Men. And that's when I had to make the decision. I was 18 years old coming out of high school. And it was sign a record deal with Capitol Records, be on MTV with Boys and Men, or go to school, play baseball. I
Right.
took the money and
Yeah. Sure.
hopefully the fame, you know what I mean?
Right. 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 Which I think
So,
anybody would.
so that's how the whole Sudden Impact thing came from. And Biv took Sudden Impact from Clint Eastwood movie.
The movie. Right.
Yeah, that's where we got that name from.
Right. Right.
So we did that, obviously Motown Philly blew up, right?
Right. Yep.
And did that whole thing. Then fast forward a little bit, Biv wanted to do the whole East Coast family thing.
Right.
Took us off of Capitol, put us on Biv 10 Motown.
Biv 10.
So,
Right.
so we could do the East Coast family thing. Changed our name to White Guys
Right.
from Sudden Impact.
Right.
We actually changed our name, dude, on national television. I don't know if you remember our show with Sherry Carter, Video LP on BET.
Video. Yeah. Of course. Yeah. I used to watch that all the time. Yeah.
Yeah, well, he had us, Boys and Men, and ABC on that show.
Right.
And that's when he announced that Sudden Impact was changing their name to White Guys. And the reason why he changed our name to White Guys is because us being affiliated with an all-black company,
Right.
that's what everybody called us anyway.
Right.
They were
Right.
like, yo, make sure the white guys are coming over here. Tell the white guys to
Right.
come in here and tell the white guys this and that. So everybody called us white guys
The
anyways.
white guys. You spelled it weird too, didn't you? Didn't he like spell it?
Yeah. They actually in Billboard they called us wit gizzies.
Because right, wit gizzies, right.
The wit gizzies.
I don't know if I want white guys or wit gizzies. I don't know which one I like better. But
Yeah,
you guys,
dude.
you guys were actually on the number one hip hop. Like that song went number one, right? With the whole
That did
East Coast
go
family.
number one on R&B, dude.
Right.
That was crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah, one for all.
You guys had like a little riff in it. Yeah, you guys had a little spot in there where you sang.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And then from
actually, so you about to. This is what I'm telling you during this interview. Because I'm not doing the same interview that I've done over and over and over.
I don't want you to.
No,
I don't want you to.
I am going to tell you things that people have never heard before. Okay.
I don't want you to. I want you to tell me what you want to say.
I don't even know when the next time it's going to be when I do another podcast because this music industry, whatever. But
who are you telling? I know all about it.
Dude, man, it's crazy. I'm 50 years old now, man. I've given my life to this music, given up a lot of shit for this music, and at 50 years old, this music hasn't reciprocated what I feel like it should have given me for what I have given music. You feel me?
Right. Sure.
So that's why I am just I'm gonna tell some stories tonight, man, that I ain't never told before, and whatever. So anyway, the One for All song, right?
Yeah.
That's not even all of us singing.
No.
Me singing. That's me singing the leads on that little section that we do.
Right.
That's me singing that little section. I'm singing the leads, and a couple of guys in the group couldn't get the harmony parts right. Actually, my brother ended up singing a harmony note, and then the rest of the notes is Sean Stockman from Boys II Men.
Okay.
So
Wow.
that little part is just me. My brother did like one note, and Sean Stockman did the rest of it.
Wow. That's crazy.
Ain't that crazy?
I didn't know
That was a
that. I
crazy
thought it was all you
weekend.
guys.
We did that in Townsend, Maryland. That was Boys and Men got into a huge fight that during that session. That session was crazy, but we got it done. And like you said, it actually went to #1 on R&B, which was,
Right.
you know what I
Right. But
mean?
you guys at that point still hadn't even released a song, right?
No, no. At
Did
that
you have songs in the can?
we at that time, Boys and Men or Michael Bivins signed us to Capitol Records.
Right.
Um, dude, Capitol Records was just unbelievable. Dude, they were amazing, dude.
Really?
They hooked us up. Listen to this. When we signed with them, we got a nice advancement. They hooked us up with a beautiful house in Virginia Beach on 62nd Street. Beautiful 2-story house right on the beach. Recording at this studio in Virginia Beach called Master Sound, which actually Timberland and Missy, I think, ended up buying it.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Wow.
after a while, but we were like the first major signed act to record at that studio. We were recording. We did 4 songs there, and then that's when Biv took us off of a Capitol and then put
Right.
us on Biv 10 or whatever. But that's the thing about us, man, is that there was 5 of us. We weren't great singers, man, at all. Like, we got a shot because of the persona of 5 guys doing R&B music, and we were
Right.
5 good-looking guys. And there was no other group besides New Kids on the Block at that time.
Right.
It was New Kids on the Block, and then there was us. This is before NSYNC,
Mhm.
Backstreet, all that.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Even though we weren't the greatest singers, we always had great songs, man.
Yeah.
Always. And we had a great songwriter in our group. His name was Todd White. And my boy Tim Bird, shout out to Tim Bird Music. He did all the production. He did all of our music. And him and Todd were the songwriters, and
Yeah.
just amazing songs. You know,
Yeah.
you don't have to be a great singer to have amazing songs, you know.
Right. Right.
And that's where we were. We kept getting into situations is because we always had great songs.
Sure. Oh, it's key to have great. I mean, it's key to have great songs. Now, you guys never really released a song, but you guys were there for most of Boys to Men's like rise, right? You guys were on tour. You guys were you
And
guys
we
were just
were
kind of
with Boys II Men all the time.
yeah.
We
You guys were in the
man,
background.
we were so close to Boys II Men. We used to go pick them up from Philly.
Wow.
You know, we're from Newport News, Virginia.
Right.
We would go pick them up in the middle of the night, drive all the way to Philly, pick Boys and Men up, drive back to Newport News, and play basketball, and then drive them back to Philly.
Oh my God.
Like, that's how close we used to be. You know what I mean?
That's
Like
crazy.
we came from the bottom. You know what I mean?
Right.
But
Right.
yeah. So after the East Coast family thing happened, We never released anything because Biv started doing 702. Then he had
Hmm.
Subway, and I think Biv just got tired, man. Like it was, he already had Boys and Men. He just got tired. I think he just, got ahead of himself a little bit too much,
Right. Right.
and so he shut the whole Biv thing, the Biv 10 thing down, because then New Edition started
Yep.
doing their thing again.
Hmm.
And so we actually just fell off with Biv after that. He just got too busy with other stuff,
Right.
Us being in Newport News, Virginia. Teddy Riley was right around the corner. Future Studios was right around the corner in Virginia Beach.
Right.
And so we started going out to Future Records and like, let's just see if we run into somebody,
Yeah. Yeah.
we were still recording music at the crib, and we had a studio there. Thank God to Tim Bird, man. Tim is just I can't even tell you what an amazing producer slash person this guy is. I mean, he was the nucleus
Right.
of
Right.
Sudden Impact white guys. Like
Right.
he did all the music, wrote half the songs, like, and so we would go out to Future Records, and lo and behold, we go to Future Records and we run into Leon Silver the third
Leon Silver the third.
from the Silvers. You know who that is?
I know the Silvers are,
Yeah. I mean,
but I
Leon
mean
Silver,
that's
one of the
major.
best producers of all
Yeah.
time.
Absolutely.
And
100%.
he was coming out of Future Records. We ran into him, gave him a demo or whatever, and told him, our situation, and he was willing to work with us. At the same time, he's working with Teddy. He was
Right.
working on he did Before I Let You Go, Black Street. He did a
Oh yeah.
couple of Black Street songs. And so now we're working with Leon, and every single day we're driving from Newport News to Virginia Beach to work with Leon. And we had to be at his crib, dude, at 9 o'clock in the morning every single morning. And we're
It's like a
driving
job.
to Newport News.
Right.
But at the time, I didn't even know who Leon was.
No.
I had no clue who Leon was. Tim did, because Tim knows everything about music.
Right.
Tim Bird, he knew who he was, and so Tim was like in awe. We were just little kids working with this dude. We didn't know who he was,
Right.
and so we did 4 songs with Leon. And in my career, I think Leon Silvers the third is probably the most talented, and I learned the most from working with him. And I'm talking working with Boys to Men,
Right.
working with Biv,
Right.
working with all these different people. Leon Silvers the third he taught me a lot, dude. And he was precise, man.
Yeah.
So anyway, we do 4 songs with Leon. And at this point, we have no record deal. The Motown thing's done. We have no record deal. We're just floating, man.
Right.
We're floating. We don't, we got this little bit of Sudden Impact thing on the Motown Philly video, but
Right.
we do 4 songs with Leon. We find out that Boys and Men is doing a show in Richmond, Virginia. We know Boys and Men. We got these 4 hot songs that we did with Leon. Probably some of those songs might be the hottest shit that Sudden Impact ever did. I don't know. They was hot though.
Right.
Really, really good songs. And so Boys and Men is in Richmond, and we're like, man, let's take these 4 songs, we want to go hang out with our boys and show them what we've been doing. Go hang out with Boys the Men at the concert, go backstage, hang out with them, give them the demo. A couple days go by, Boys the Men calls us and is like, yo, what the fuck? This is you guys? We're like, yeah, man, that's us. They like, yo, check this out, man. We just got this whole situation with Sony, with Tommy Mottola. We did One Sweet Day with Mariah Carey, and because we
Blew
did
up.
that song, Tommy Mottola gave Boys II Men their own record label, Stone Creek.
Stone Creek, yeah.
And you know who came off of Stone Creek?
No, I don't. Who came off Stone Creek?
Uncle Sam.
Uncle Sam. I remember Uncle Sam.
I don't ever want to see you again.
Yeah, I remember Uncle Sam.
Remember that song?
I absolutely. It was on my my mixtape.
That was the only thing, was that Uncle Sam album to come off of Stone Creek. And so Boys II Men had this whole situation. They moved us up to Philly. That's why I'm in Jersey right now, Marco.
That's what that Boys II Men brought you to Jersey.
Well, they brought me to Philly in
Philly
97.
First.
They brought me to Philly. I lived in Philly from 97 to 2000.
Okay.
And I moved to Jersey in 2000 after the whole Stone Creek thing went downhill.
Right.
And same thing. We did songs with Boys II Men. Marco, when I tell you, amazing songs, dude.
You actually had songs with Boys II Men.
So we had songs with Boys II Men, and I'll tell you a story that nobody else knows too. We had this one song called "Kinda Girl," and Boys II Men did a couple of the backgrounds on it. Man, when I tell you, amazing song.
Right.
Great song. And so Boys II Men would go into the studio and show us our backgrounds. Like I would go in and do the leads and like the main note for, you know, the chorus or whatever. And then Boys II Men would come in and be like, okay, here in the first, you know, go like this. Ooh, ooh. And then we would just copy what they showed us to do. You know what I mean?
Right.
Dude, don't you know that on this one track, Nate from Boys II Men, he sang off, dude. And that was the final product. And so we have this beautiful song, and the one person that's off, and we weren't great singers. The one person that's off on this beautiful song is Nate from Boys II Men.
That's crazy. He ain't never off, ever.
How crazy is that, though?
Where
I ain't never told nobody that shit either, dude.
Well, I mean, thank you for that. But where are all these songs? Like, where are they sitting at? Who has them? You know?
Man, they're basically, I know a lot of them are sitting on D88s. You remember D88s?
Yep.
Who has a D88 player nowadays? Nobody. Yeah, you gotta find that at like a pawn shop somewhere or something, you know?
Yeah, somebody has one that they can transfer those songs over.
Yeah, I'm sure somebody has, dude. And we worked with a lot of people, a lot of Boys II Men's producers at that time at Stone Creek. So they have a lot of that stuff, but who knows, man? I don't have them.
I know you don't have them.
I don't have shit. I ain't got nothing.
I went down that rabbit hole trying to find music, and I think there's some Sudden Impact music finally on YouTube.
I put up one video years ago.
Right.
I put up a video. I did kind of like a compilation of a little bit of stuff.
Yeah, there's a couple good songs. I mean, there was one song, I forget what it is, but I really liked it. Like it would fit today. Like it would hold up today. I forget which one it was. Slow song, but it would hold up today.
We always had good songs. That's why, and that's why I don't understand why Boys II Men the songs that we did, like Boys and Men always thought that we weren't up to par. And I know that that's one reason why they probably never put us out, because we weren't that group. We would have good songs. All five of us were great looking guys, in
Right.
shape, got the girls, blah blah blah. But as far as like sitting down and singing harmony together,
Right.
it
Right.
was always a problem, man.
Okay.
It was always a problem.
You guys
Fighting.
weren't in that group. You guys weren't that kind of group to sit
We
there and
just
sing
weren't that.
harmony.
We just weren't. We weren't an acapella group. We could sing some acapella,
Yeah.
but we're not gonna sit there and sing a 3.5 minute acapella song.
Right.
We weren't dancers. We weren't dancers. Like we weren't coming out and doing the New
Right.
Edition thing or
Yeah.
NSYNC
Yeah.
thing.
Do
We
that again.
weren't dancers. We
Yeah.
just made good songs.
Yeah. Well, I mean, was New Edition acapella group? Was New Kids acapella group? No. Right.
Exactly. And
It was more of a a
that's
look.
where we came from, Marco.
Yeah.
That's where we came from. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's not like
Sure.
Boys the Men or New Edition was going on shows singing a cappella. It
Right.
wasn't New Kids weren't doing that. We were more into songs, man. We just wanted to make great songs. But anyway, so I feel like Boys and Men didn't want to let us out. Maybe they felt a little embarrassed that we weren't like them. And maybe they felt a little inferior to where because we had great music. All they had to do, Marco, is do a video. Imagine at that time, late 90s, uh, a white group with a beautiful song
Right.
with
Right.
Boys and Men in the video.
Yeah.
Man, that shit would have went to the moon at that point.
Yeah. I don't understand why they never released. That's
Because
crazy.
now I don't know, but I think that they didn't want us to get bigger than them,
Right.
which is because they knew that we weren't as good as them,
Right.
that we weren't singers like them. But I think that they felt like there's no way I'm letting this shitty guys that can't even sing come out and be bigger than us. But
Right.
which is crazy because they had 50% of our shit.
Right.
So why wouldn't you do that?
Yeah. Did you ever get a vibe from them? Did you ever get that vibe from them? Like when
Dude,
you
let
were
me tell
hanging
you
around?
something. Here's something I'm gonna tell you too, man. I ain't never told nobody about. Like I told you, man, this podcast is different than any other podcast that I've ever done, man. I'm gonna say some shit that maybe I shouldn't say, but Boys and Men don't give a fuck about me. They haven't. I've tried to reach out to them multiple times. I've had a couple of conversations with Sean, but Boys and Men, dude, were some arrogant motherfuckers, dude.
Really?
Hard to work with, man. Hard.
Really?
Like they were not good at collabing. Like they would you would say, "Hey man, hey Nate, man, hey, how about we do it like this and do it like that?" And he would turn around in his chair and be like, 24 million sold, motherfucker, shut up. Oh shit, okay. All right, it's like that. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, dude,
Wow.
they was arrogant. And if you search the internet, you'll see other artists talking about it.
There's
Chili
things
just
on
was talking.
TikTok right
Chili
now
was
that
just talking.
yeah.
Chili from TLC was just talking about it.
Yep.
But look, I see. Listen, I see that Sean has definitely changed. Sean seems like an amazing person. I don't talk to Nate. I don't talk to Wanye. I feel so bad for Michael. I mean, if it wasn't for Michael McCary, we wouldn't even have been into that Boys and Men situation. Michael
Right.
McCary is the one that took us in. We used to stay at his house all the time. He's the one that we were closest with
Wow.
because he was more down to earth than the other guys. Like he was down to earth, and that's probably why it didn't work out with Michael. You know, the scoliosis and all
Right.
that
Right.
shit.
He
You
couldn't
know,
really dance anymore, and
yeah, but
you know,
he was the real dude, man. He
yeah.
was the night dude. He was who we connected with because he was more down to earth than everybody.
Right. Right. So
And I
how
feel
long?
so bad, and I feel like that's why Boys and Men haven't been even though I just heard that new Boys and Men Christmas song which is amazing. I don't know if you've
Yeah.
heard.
I mean, it's hard for them to not. I mean, listen. At one point, they were playing dive bars with 70 people in it. You know, they
That's
couldn't
right.
draw, right?
Yeah,
You know, at
yeah.
some point after their fame wore down for a little bit. Um, but how long was the period from Sudden Impact deal with Biv to Boys the Men, and then like kind of the end of that whole phase of your career? Like how long was that? Was it a 2, 3, 4, 5 year phase where you kind of almost made it? Or we're right there.
The crazy thing is, Marco, is that all people had to do was let out a freaking song, man, and nobody let out a freaking song. That's what's crazy.
Because
Like,
nobody knew what to do. No, there wasn't social media. There wasn't, dude. If you had social
yeah,
media back then, you guys would have killed it. Killed it.
yeah. And the thing is that back then, dude, you had to be on point, man. It's not like now to where there's auto tune and like back then, man. If you were in the studio and somebody had to use a vocoder or a pitch control or something, people were like, "Yo, there's the door right there, dude. You can get
Right,
the
right.
fuck out of here. You can't
Yeah, you ain't
sing.
using that. Right. Yep.
You can't sing, bro."
Yeah, back in the
Like,
day, that was unacceptable.
back then, you had to be on point
Yeah. Yeah.
with your pitch, your tone. You had to be
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
point. And nowadays, it's just not like that. And
No.
so, probably to answer your question, it was probably, yeah, man. Like when we got done with Boys and Men, we were so hurt, man. When we found out that Boys and Men Stone Creek was shutting down, and God bless Slug. That's Nate's brother. He came into our apartment one day and he's like, "Man, guys, you guys are going back home." And all the guys went back home, and I said, "Fuck that! I'm staying up here, man, because I love Philly."
Right. Right.
I love this area, dude. I think Philly is an amazing city. I can't even tell people how amazing Philly is. I love South Jersey. Like,
Hmm.
I was like, I'm not going home.
Right.
So I stayed up here in 2005. I met this gentleman by the name of Elijah Woods. He had a record label here in South Jersey called Invigorator Records.
Yep.
And, like I said, dude, I have given my life to this music, Marco.
Yeah.
You know, that's
Sure.
why I'm a little angry. I'm a little bitter. That's why I haven't, like this last year, dude, to be honest with you, man, this last year, I haven't done shit, man. I got a studio right here.
Yeah. I've
I,
I've been
I,
there. Yeah.
I can do whatever I want. This whole
Yeah.
year, dude, I have been so unmotivated because of the way that the music industry is now. Like, so I signed this record deal with this independent company here in 2005. So from 97 to 2005, that was the whole from Boys the Men in 97. That's when we signed with Stone Creek was
Hmm.
97. And then by 2005, it was a wrap,
Right.
or, dealing with that whole situation. And came here and signed
Hmm.
this deal with Invigorator Records, and I actually got a top 10 hit, man.
I was leading right into that. You actually had a
I
top 10. What
actually
was
had
it?
a top 10 hit.
Top 10 R&B, right? Top 10 R&B
Top
Billboard
10
hit.
the
Yeah,
R&B on the R&B sales chart. It's
yeah,
and Billboard. It's called
yeah,
Gotta Love,
yeah.
and and that was big for me, and
Big
I
for
made a
anybody.
little bit of money off of that, being independent and everything. You know what I mean?
Sure, sure.
But then that that kind of fizzled out, and then since then, man, dude, I have been working my entire life, bro,
Right,
on this music, man,
right.
and that's why I'm a little angry because you know I didn't go get a great job. I didn't go work for a corporate uh business. I gave I'm still doing it to this
Yeah.
day. I mean,
I
besides
know.
this year, I haven't done shit. But dude, I have given everything to this
Yeah,
music, bro. You
yeah.
know what I mean? And it hasn't really given me back what I feel like I deserve for giving my whole love, man.
It's a
Like I've
shitty.
never I've
It's
never even been married in my life, Marco, because of this music.
because you were married to music.
I'm married to music, man.
You're married to music. It's a tough business. I say it all the time to people. It's a shitty business because people shit on you. I said it to Trevor last week. People talk about you. People step on your neck to get above you. People that even shouldn't even be in the music business are thinking they know what they're doing and in the music business. And you're just like, what is going on? People are releasing shitty songs because you can release music anywhere, right? And you got somebody like you who can produce, who can sing, and you know what I mean. And it's just like I get the frustration. I really do. I really do. I'm not an artist.
Right.
I get behind the scenes, but it doesn't
Right.
matter. I'm still waiting on a situation right now, which could be humongous. But it's been like it's just an ongoing thing. It's like
Well, that's funny that you said talking
you
about
know,
stepping on people's necks, man. And people have given me that advice throughout the years. They said you have to be arrogant and you have to. People would always tell me that I'm too nice. You're too nice. You're too
yeah,
nice.
yeah.
And I'm like, well, I'm sorry, I'm not an asshole. Like I don't know what to say. Like that's just my personality. That's just who I am. Like I feel like I have good music. Within the last 4 or 5 years. Again, my friend Tim Bird, he's been doing my music
Mm-hmm.
all the way through, and then I got separated from my kid's mom and had to move in by myself where you've been to my crib,
Yeah, yeah,
and I put myself through school, man. Like I sat here and I taught myself how to produce. I would always get tracks from somebody else. You know what I mean?
yeah.
I would always
Sure.
get tracks from somebody else. Now I do my own production. I do my own recording, mixing, writing, vocals, and the thing is with the music industry right now, like Snoop Dogg's trying to take care of it. This is why I kind of got out of it this year is because the whole streaming thing. Like,
Yeah,
dude, you know how much music I have online
yeah,
throughout my career. Like
yeah.
I have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of songs. Right?
Right.
We get paid a penny, Marco,
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
for a
not,
stream,
it's
and
not
that's the
even.
only way you get paid now.
Yeah, it's that's the only way you get paid. See that plaque right there, that long one? That's 1 million streams for my artist P Lane. You know what that brought us in? $4,300 minus the fees that Spotify is going to take, minus my cut. minus this person's cut, and
Right.
he, like it's by the time at the end of the day, you leave with $2,000, maybe,
Dude, I get
maybe.
so hype in here. I'll do an amazing track, right? I'll do an amazing track, and I'll be like, "Woo! Oh, hey, oh!" And I'll get all hype, right? And I'll start writing. I'll be like, "Hey, baby, dun, that is on and up and down," and I'll start recording it, and then I'm like, "Why the fuck am I doing this?" I mean, it's for my own personal enjoyment, I guess, but like because I,
Well,
I can upload it, I can promote it. You could put $100 on promotion,
yeah,
and you know how long it's going to take for you to get that $100 back?
yeah, yeah. It's not, it's
10,000 streams. you
yeah, right.
got you got to get 10,000 streams to get your $100 back.
I
If
you know
that's right, did I say that right? Is that right?
no, you're it's less than a penny a stream. It's like three-quarters of a penny, maybe, a stream.
Yeah.
But
So Congress got to figure this out, man, because with these
somebody
music
does.
platforms. I have title, right?
Yeah,
I pay $9.99 a month,
yeah,
and I can play every song in the world.
yeah, yeah.
Ain't
I,
nobody buying shit.
I think in your case, I think you may have to pivot from artist to songwriter, artist developer, you know,
Right.
something like that, where you need, because what I'll be honest with you, you look like you lost your luster here a little bit from,
Oh, I
like you lost
definitely,
your passion, and maybe you need a break. And I'm just keeping it
that's
real
what
as an artist
I
developer myself.
definitely have, Marco.
You it's in you. You just right now you're just so flustered with the business. You have to stop and you have to say, all right, I need to pivot, right?
Right.
You need to pivot. And okay, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put my own website with my songs up there, and my beats. And I'm gonna try to be a singer-songwriter. Maybe I'll find an artist that'll come in and you
Man,
can
I've been
you can
trying to
mold
find
them.
singers, dude. There's no everybody and their grandmom's a rapper. That's
I
what
don't yeah. I'm not really I like the lane I'm in with the pop music and the singers and I like that lane. I do.
right,
Um, you have to find, you have to. I know you can do. I know you're good. I know you can. I know you can write. I know you can sing. That's all good and that's all well and good. But maybe it's time to shift. Shift into something else. Not something else, but shift it into, like you always said. Somebody that somebody that can sing these songs for me. You asked me one time, and I really didn't know anybody. But you have to want to go get that person. You have to put it out there.
right.
And then you have to have that person be um, really wanting it, really wanting to be something,
Exactly.
having the money to put
Which that's another avenue that's hard.
right, right.
Well,
They
let
have
me
to have the
let me
money to
tell you
put
this,
behind
Marco.
themselves.
How me and you met.
Yeah.
This is another thing that made me lose my luster, man. Is 2 years ago when we had that podcast,
Well,
right?
yeah. So, hold your thought. So, when did you like hear that Dave Holmes was going to do this podcast about you
Well,
guys?
let me start from the beginning. So this is
Yeah.
how the whole thing started.
Right.
This is how the whole thing started.
Right.
I was trying to get because I'm actually really good friends with Chris and Roro from ABC.
ABC. Yep.
I talk to them all the time. Great guys. I'm really really good friends with MC Brains.
MC Brains. Yeah.
I'm really good friends with Yvette Brown. Uh, uh,
Comedian.
a lot of the guys from the East Coast family, we always talk throughout the years.
Right.
And me and Big Ant were thinking about starting a group, me and him. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like
Hmm.
I'm really good friends with a lot of the guys from East Coast family. So I
Right.
had this idea. Let me try to get, since I know a lot of them, let me try to get all these people together for maybe the East Coast family can kind of do something, whether it's a podcast or a
Yeah.
conference station, or
Yeah.
get a couple of guys on a song.
Mm-hmm.
Kyle Lee, me and Kyle Lee are really, really close. And
How about Fruit
so
Punch?
that's how the go ahead.
How about Fruit Punch? My name is Fruit Punch. I don't get out
Oh, Fruit
much.
Punch lives in Camden.
I didn't know that.
Man, there's a Fruit Punch lives in Camden. He's right here.
Is he?
And Michael Bivens' Aunt Diane, who was managing Sudden Impact for a little while, she's right down the street too.
Oh wow, that's crazy.
Right here next to Philly. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
so everybody was here, man. And Fruit Punch's real name, his name is Ryan. Great guy. He's a family man now. But so that's how the whole thing was starting, right?
Right.
And me and Yvette were talking on Twitter one day, and I was telling Yvette, this is what I'm trying to do. Would you be down to do this? Blah blah blah. And Yvette, I don't know, like Yvette she's like the best person on the planet.
She's
She's like
awesome.
the nicest person, man.
Yeah, she's awesome.
And she's the most successful person from the East Coast family.
Right.
And so anyway, I get a call from Yvette one night, and she's like, AK, I know that you've been trying to do this East Coast family thing together. I just got a call or an email or something from this DJ or VJ from MTV, and he reached out to me trying to find you guys, Sudden Impact.
Right.
Here's his number, here's his email. You might want to hit him up and see what's up.
Right.
So I was like, good look, Yvette. Hey, that's awesome, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Call him up, and Dave was like, what? This is Aaron Kane from the Sudden Impact, Motown Film. I'm like, yeah, what's up, man? He's like, man, hey, I'm trying to do this podcast. Do you think that you can, get this person and get it? Well, you see, that's why Yvette did the podcast.
Right. Yep. Yep.
And I was like, man, heck yeah, I can get as many people as you want.
Yeah.
And dude, so Dave Holmes was all about that and contacted this person. I hooked up all the Zoom calls and this and that. And
you were the guy. Hold on. You were the guy behind it all, right?
Dude, it was me and Yvette that hooked that whole thing up. If it wasn't for Yvette, I would have never gotten in contact with Dave, because I was trying to do the East Coast family thing. Yvette knew that I was trying to do that, and Dave Holmes had contacted her for some reason looking for Sudden Impact. And Yvette was like, dude, this is crazy because AK's trying to get people together right now. Like,
Such a good podcast. Such a good podcast. Because I would have never have even given you a second thought, Sudden Impact. What a great premise. Like, you're right. What the frig happened to these dudes? Like, I remember saying, oh, another white dude's great. This is going to be great, man. I can't wait. He just faded out to nothing. I'm like, 20 years later, whatever, here we are. And I'm like, oh, this is what a great concept. So that's when I listened to it and I tracked you down because I tracked you down because I knew you were still into the music. You said you were still in the music. And I'm like, man, maybe we can collab, or maybe the group needs, somebody to some connections on the road because I have some connections, or maybe they need a manager, somebody. That's what my thought was. So I was like, let me go over, let me try to hook up with that, AK and see what it is. So all that being said, the podcast was one of the most downloaded.
Marco, is that I am the only one from the whole group.
Yeah.
Like I mentioned earlier, I didn't go out and get a corporate job and I've been hustling my whole life, man, doing this
Sure.
music shit. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And I'm still doing it. Everybody else, just to give in perspective, another reason why this sudden impact shit didn't work
Hmm.
is because nobody else in the group did music for years and years and years like I did. Like I just
Right.
hustled and hustled. Like that was my life.
Right.
That up until literally last winter, dude. It was every single night, which has always created a problem with relationships. Uh,
Yes.
you know what I mean? And
Yes.
I was the only one out of us five that tried to keep the music going. Todd in the group, he does country now. He still writes songs, but he has a corporate job and he's good. So what happened was I saw this. Me and Dave. Once I talked to Yvette. Yvette passed Dave Holmes off to me. Me and Dave put this thing together, right?
Right. Hmm.
I got all of us five together besides my brother. My brother said that he wasn't doing it. He didn't want to have nothing to do with it because he thought it was some bullshit. He didn't want to do it.
Right.
Um, and so it was us four plus Tim Bird Music.
Hmm.
Um, he did it.
Right.
And dude, it was such a success. Your boy did it from New Kids on the Block. He was on there. Joey
Did what?
Joey was on there.
Oh yeah, Joey McIntyre was
Yeah,
on the
Joey
podcast.
McIntyre was on there talking about
Yeah.
us.
Yeah.
Joey McIntyre, all kinds of people are on there, man. And it was a huge hit, Marco. It,
I
it was
I
number one
know.
podcast for like
It
two
was
months.
months. Yeah. Yeah. It was such a good
And
podcast.
and dude, everybody was hitting us up, man. Billboard, we did it. We did. I thought, hey, man, this is an opportunity for us to get back together as a group and and let's do this, man. Let's do this. We can do a couple of songs together. We can go out on tour, dude. We getting a second chance
Yeah.
at us being almost 50 years old at that time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow, we're getting a second chance, man.
Yeah.
And we really did. We tried to hook it up. We were all on the phone talking and
Right.
trying to hook it up and this and that. And nobody wanted to record shit, man. Like, first of all, my brother was like, "Why we got to record shit? We got old shit." And I'm like, "Well, people want to hear what we sound like now,
It's different,
so
and
we
it's
have to
different
record some new
technology.
shit."
Right. Right.
Nobody wanted to record shit, and the one dude, Todd White, in the group, he is. I'm just gonna say it, man. That dude's an asshole. You know what I mean?
Ah.
He don't care about that shit. If it ain't about him, man, he's out. You know what I mean?
Right.
And they're all successful in other careers right now.
Sure.
So they don't need the shit anyway. You know what I mean?
Right. Right.
I need that shit. I'm like, dude, I'm trying to make some shit happen here, bro.
They listen. I hope they see this because what they don't understand is, well, one, they missed a golden opportunity because they should have struck while the iron was hot. Because
Hell
you
yeah.
don't have, you can still. I have a full time job. You know, these you don't really have to um, leave your job to do this. Look at O Town, right? I'm on the road with these guys constantly, right? LFO. These guys do shows based around their family life.
Right.
That's it. If they can't do gigs this weekend, oh well. They can't do gigs this weekend. It's
Right.
not a, they there's other groups that are coming back that they haven't really, they weren't as big as O Town, but they had some they had fans, before
Yeah,
the boy
yeah.
band thing kind of took it up, and they're coming back and they're doing their thing, and they're doing it when they can, because you
Dude,
know
God bless Dave Holmes, man. Dave Holmes was trying to hook us up with a lot of situations, man.
he could have,
And
yeah,
we
yeah.
just couldn't get it together, man, because there's a lot of selfishness in this group. A lot, dude. And arguments. And
You missed a golden opportunity. They
yeah,
not
man.
you. They missed a golden opportunity
Right.
because
Oh, I missed it too.
well,
I
I
missed
mean,
it too because
right.
they wouldn't do it.
That goes
There
without
was
saying,
there was
but
a situation to where they wanted me to come down to VA because all of them are down in VA to record, and
I mean, I would have been against
and
that.
and but the problem is that you don't have to do that. Like, I'm a situation in my life, man, to where I got to save every dollar I got, man. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like, it
sure.
costs you. I just went down to Virginia for Thanksgiving, man. It cost me
Yeah,
a lot of money to do that shit. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah,
And to record, pay for studio time, traveling, this and that. Like, dude, you don't have to do that no more. I got studio right here.
right.
Like, I can record stuff, send you my vocals. Tim Bird, he's the one that puts everything together.
Yeah,
Everybody just record something, send it to him,
yeah,
put it together, boom, there you go.
yeah,
And then send it to Dave Holmes. We had people waiting on music for months and months and months,
yeah.
and we just couldn't get it
And
together, Mark.
these guys couldn't get their heads out their ass to do it. I would have used everything in my power, every connection I had to get you guys on shows that or at least get you hooked up with an agent or somebody. Remember, you and
Right.
I talked about an idea where that we would have Dave Holmes come in and do a podcast live, and you guys perform right after it or something like that.
Yeah,
Like
something
there's
like
so many.
that.
It's so much you could do so much with social media, but for some whatever, I'm sure it's deeper than I don't want to sing anymore. They probably not happy with the way they sing or look, but it's not even about that anymore, man. You guys aren't going to get a record deal. You guys aren't going to get
Right.
iHeartRadio. It's like
No.
people love the nostalgia thing. You guys can go out
Right.
there and you guys can in their case they can make fu money. You know what I mean?
Right.
VIP stuff. You guys like y'all missed a you all missed a golden opportunity, and it bums me out every time. It really does when I think about it. It bums me out because I know you personally. I consider you a friend. I consider you talented. Where if anything ever comes my way, I'm throwing some stuff your way. It's a matter of when, right?
I
If and
appreciate
when,
that,
right?
man. But look,
But
I was saying, like, what we were saying when we had our meeting, man. This sudden impact thing would have just been great. All we would have had to do is do a couple songs. The
that's
one
it,
guy, Todd, he writes country music, right?
right?
You know, I I have a bazillion songs.
Yeah,
Like, all we had to do was do the sudden impact thing for a minute, get a little bit of, oh, this is sudden impact, and then everybody would find, like, oh, AK got his own shit. Oh, well, let me go check that out.
right.
Oh, this guy has his own shit. Let me go check that out.
It
But
wouldn't
it
have been a
had
full
to
time thing.
start with the
Yeah.
sudden impact thing.
Right. It wouldn't have been a full time gig for you guys. It would have been a here and there type of thing. It would have popped off for a month. It would, Billboard. Like you said, you got interest from Billboard. Like they just, people think they know more than they really do, and they probably assume stuff when you guys really should have thought it out and
Yeah.
consulted somebody or something. So they missed on an opportunity, I hate it because I like the
We
nostalgia shit.
tried, dude. I even tried to hook
You
up
know.
this situation. Do you know this guy? You might know him because he was managing New Kids at the time, I think a little bit. Chad Taylor,
Chad Taylor. Oh yeah, he's big.
dude.
I don't
I
I
even
don't
hooked
know
that
him.
whole situation up. I had a
Right.
couple. I contacted him. Him and his wife him and his family are just amazing. And I had a couple of conversations with him. I brought it to the guys at the time when the podcast. I said, "Dude, man, I got this great manager. He works at he's managed some of the guys from New Kids, this
Mm-hmm.
and that. He's a radio DJ, and I think it's Nashville or something too. Great opportunity to have somebody manage us. Hook that up, and and that even fell through. Like, I'm like, what do you guys want, man? Like this, I'm trying to hand you this, like boom, we can do something here, man.
You
And
missed the golden opportunity. Even if it would have
yeah,
been for a couple months, it would have jump started, you know, a lot of other stuff for you, especially for you, right?
right.
But it's a shame. I hate that. It bothers me because I envisioned something totally different, and these guys can't have. They I guess obviously don't have the same vision as you or myself. So I wish they would
I
see
just
that
think that
vision.
they're just done with
Yeah,
music,
and
you
that's
know?
fine. That's fine. You missed the golden opportunity to get out there and have a
Right.
little fun and make a little scratch. You really did.
Yeah,
You know what I
and
mean?
yeah, have a little bit of fun, man. Do a couple concerts, you know what I
Right?
mean?
Is
Because
it
I'm
that
telling you,
bad?
Marco, dude, some of our songs, dude, I can't even tell you how many songs that we recorded that the world hasn't heard. I mean, some
Yeah.
of these sudden impact songs that we have done throughout our career are, and I'm not just saying this, man, they're hits, bro. Hits. And we're not even great singers like that, but
Right.
hits, man.
It's
And
it's a shame.
and nobody's ever heard them in 30 years.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy.
Isn't that
I
crazy,
mean,
man?
it is crazy, and to wrap things up, I think I think you as an artist, in my opinion, need to pivot a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Pivot a little bit. First of all,
Yeah,
take the holidays to relax and
yeah,
get your passion back. Because without passion, your songs are going to show that you don't have the passion. And that's,
right.
you know, if I was your A&R or your developer, I'd be like, you gotta have passion. If you ain't working on your shit every day and dancing, and like we tell some of the artists that we work with, you gotta dance every day, you gotta sing every day, you gotta want it every day. I want you to call me every day, even if you annoy me and tell me how excited you are because you learned a new dance step. I don't give a shit. Show some
Right.
passion. You had
Yeah,
that
yeah.
passion, you lost it a little bit. Maybe you just need some time, get it back. Write about it. Write about it.
Well, I just
Sing
want to
about it.
apologize, Marco. That's why, I know that you kept hitting me up to do this, man,
Yeah, I
and
wanted people to hear the story.
I just kept thinking to myself, I don't have anything to really say, man.
No,
Like
you do
don't
have
have
something to
anything.
say.
I
Hey,
don't really have anything to say that I haven't already said. That's not out there. That's and me being in this spot in my life right now.
hmm
Um, I didn't want to come off like a hater or like I didn't want to come off like fuck the music business. You know what I mean? And you know,
well,
th- listen, music is my life, dude. Like
yeah,
you can ask me any question about any genre about, dude. Uh, I talk about music all the time. I listen
yeah,
to music all the time. I know everything about music, but yeah, like you said, this past year, man, I just lost my luster a little bit.
and
Um,
that's okay. It's fine. You know what I mean? It's fine. It's fine to lose your luster, but at some point you gotta write stuff in your head. And you gotta say, all right, I'm not gonna get a record deal. I'm not gonna be on iHeartRadio, but I know I make good music.
mhm.
And if I want to make, you could still be an artist and build your fan base. You don't look 50. You know what I'm saying? So you're, like I said, you're not going to be on iHeart. So why not still put out music and build a fan base? You just got to know how to do it, and you can't just keep releasing song after song after song. You need to release a banger or whatever, slow song, banger, whatever, and just keep pushing it for 6 months while you have other songs in the can. If you just build a fan base where, maybe you can get some gigs singing. Maybe you can go somewhere and open up for maybe you pay $400 open up for an artist that's coming to town. Cares? Write your songs, produce them, try to sell them. I work with the dance label. He's always looking for songs for artists. Now, it doesn't have to be dance,
Right.
but he will remix the shit out of them and make him dance. But still, you can sell your songs, man. You can really sell your songs. People, and dude,
Man, I'm
until
just
you're,
Marco,
you know,
dude, come on, man. I've done I've done dude,
you,
I have I have worked my ass off in this
yeah,
industry,
I know,
and I just got tired this year,
yeah,
man.
yeah.
Because it's like, first of all, it's the business of hurry up and wait. Hurry up,
Tell me
hurry up,
about it.
hurry up, hurry up, hurry up.
Yep,
Wait,
yep.
wait, 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 wait. You know what I'm saying?
I'm dealing with it
And
right now. Yes, I know exactly what you're saying
yeah,
to a T. Hurry up
like
and wait.
people need everything right now, but just chill, just wait. Okay, it's coming. All right. Well, shit, man, when is it coming, dude? You know?
Yeah, I do. I know exactly. But my advice again, just you'll get it back. You just need to just take a break, man. Take a breather
Yeah.
from it,
Well,
and it'll come
that's
back.
what I decided to do this year, man. I
Yeah, why not?
decided this year. I said, man, let me take a break for a minute, take a deep breath, and collect my thoughts,
Yeah.
and listen. I'll never be able to quit, though.
Ah, I hope
You
not.
know what I'm saying? Like it's in my veins, dude. It's in my blood. Like
Yeah,
I'll never be able to quit. You know what I mean?
yeah,
I'm gonna be 80 years old. You know what I'm saying? Hey,
yeah, yeah,
do whatever. You
yeah.
know, it ain't. I can't quit.
Right,
It's who I am.
right. Well, let
Like
me
that.
tell you something. Right before the pandemic, I had this hip hop country rap artist, right, and we were making headwaves, and then kind of things started going downhill a little bit because of the pandemic and everything, and then we just stopped.
Uh-huh.
And and he didn't want to do it anymore, and I lost hope and faith, man. I was done with music. I was done with the business. And then
Right.
Trevor walked in my life. Trevor from Motown lived around the corner, and I reached out to him and we talked, and he was like, "I want to do this music. Well, what are your thoughts?" And then,
But Trevor
man,
lives in Jersey too.
he did for a hot minute. For a hot minute, he did because I was going to try to get you
He's
guys
gone
together.
now.
Yeah, he lives in New York now, though. He did
Okay.
move to New York, so that's why he lived in Sicklerville. So we met up for dinner. He let me hear songs. He said, "Which song do you think I should put out?" I know which one I want to put out. I said it. We said that's the one. I thought about it. We released Sin City. I took it to Gino. We remixed it. Boom, number one dance song on iTunes. You know, so it was phenomenal. So I
Nice.
got back into it, and I pivoted. I pivoted from really managing to then LFO's manager came in and said, "Oh man, what are you doing?" Mike Caputo. Then he's teaching me. Now he taught me the artist development side. So now I'm like, oh man, there's a whole different side to this shit. And it's even more frustrating because you need money, you need connections,
Right.
you need all, so now I'm like, this is great, but now I'm fucking even more frustrated because I know people that can sing, but who the hell's got 100 grand to put into an artist or $1 million?
Right.
You got to find and that's artist development. You got to find a situation for them, and it's who you
Yeah.
know. Thank God Mike Caputo's the GOAT and knows a ton of people. So,
Right.
he's got that. So, I've been blessed to be put in that position where, I kind of do things for, work hand in hand with him. Kind of freelance though, like I work with him, Gino from 418. So I'm like all over the place. And I have my own label, which I only have 2 songs out on, but, um, you know, I just
Man,
do a whole
I
bunch
met,
of stuff.
I met
So
Gino and them. You talking about 418, right?
418, Humag, Rob
Yeah,
Schwartz. Shout out to Rob Schwartz.
yeah. Shout out to Rob. He just bought that mall on
Yeah,
in Atlantic City.
I was there yesterday for a music conference. Yeah,
Oh, was you?
yeah. Next
Yeah.
time I go, you got to ride down with me. We'll go holler at him.
Oh, definitely, man.
Yeah, he's
Man,
got a good thing going. Which,
that's
yeah,
my
man.
people, man. I've known them for
Yeah,
20 years, man.
you may want to. I mean, I don't. You need to connect with guys like that too. Guys like me, guys like Rob, who you gotta connect and get your face shown. You can't be a hermit. You know what I'm saying? You want to do stuff. You can't be a hermit.
That's the way I've been this last year, bro.
I understand that, but you got to get
That's
out
the
and
way
get
I've
your
been
shit.
this last year, man.
Get your music out there. There's so many people at these conferences that haven't even been anywhere close to where you're at, where you were. I'm saying, or where you're
Yeah,
at.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You were right there, so you know what it takes, and you know what it's like to
Right.
be. Some of these people are trying to even just get that close. So, and they're showing their face at everything, man. And they go through Humag, and he puts them on stage. Whether it's 10 people watching, 100 people, 1,000, doesn't matter. They're having a ball doing it. And you got to get out there and market yourself, man. You got to get out there, market your songs, man. Put them on a website. Uh, stuff like
Well,
that.
you sound like Marco, the manager, right now.
Well, listen, that's in me. I always listen. I always answer your phone call, text, meet you. I'll give you. I'm not the kind of guy that's like, well, yeah, well, it's gonna be $100 an hour. I'm not. I don't need that. Nah, man. I'm gonna tell you what you got to do. That's what you got to do. You have to do that if you want to market yourself, even as a songwriter. You have to
Yeah,
market yourself, bro. You can't be a hermit. Get yourself out to those events with Rob. Go visit Rob. Go sit with him. Like do stuff like
Rob's that
that,
man,
man.
dude. Yo,
I know.
Rob put a couple of my songs on a couple of movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
That's
got a
what I'm
couple
talking
of songs
about.
on a couple of movies that he did, man.
That's exactly what I'm talking about. That's the shit you got to do, man. Because you just do to get yourself out there. The holidays are coming. The music basically shuts down for Christmas, right? I'm
Yeah,
not putting out anything. We're not doing any. Well, we got a
yeah,
couple shows, but music shuts down. So
yeah.
I'm
Till
I'm
about
relaxing.
mid-January.
Yeah, I'm relaxing, man. Nothing's coming out. Trevor has a single. We have a single coming out in February, and we'll start pushing from there. And I work with Deneen. Manage Deneen, freestyle artist from back in the '90s, very popular back in the '90s. I work with her. She's still, we're doing shows. Man, there's a market for that stuff, man. Like you can. Sky's the limit, man. I
All
don't
right, man.
care.
Well, let's talk, bro.
I mean, I'm just trying to.
Talk.
Yeah. Well, this session's gonna
Hey,
cost
look,
you.
man. Like I said before, man.
Yeah,
This train ain't stopping. It's just
the bump, speed bump.
it's just it broke down for a second, but I'm fixing the train, and it's gonna be up and running again.
Well, you could Venmo me for this therapy session.
What is the $150 an hour?
Nah, 75 for you because you're my guy, man.
Thank you so
What's
much.
funny too, man? I
Thank
chat
you
with
so
Biv.
much.
I chat with Biv, man. Like I met him and I met him
Hey
at a
man,
show.
well listen, hey, big shout out to Biv, dude. That's one thing about Biv, man. When Michael Bivins, he just put out that documentary.
Fantastic documentary.
Yeah, and anytime Michael Bivins goes anywhere, anytime Boys and Men goes somewhere, Sudden Impact always comes up. And
Always.
I
Always.
mean, it just came up when Biv was just at the Breakfast Club in New York. It came up, you know what I mean?
Yes.
And listen, man, big shout out to Michael Bivins because there's been a lot of shows that he has done, man. And me and Biv, if you talk to him,
I chat
man,
with him.
tell him to call me. Like me and Biv were the closest out of everybody in the
Right.
group and stuff because me and him could play. We used to play ball. Like I used to go to his house and in L.A. dudes shooting Nerf in his house. Like me and Biv was always close and man, God bless him, man. All the shows that he does on VH1,
Yeah,
MTV, whatever,
yeah,
he always says something nice about me.
yeah. He's a great dude, man.
And dude, that has always meant the world to me. He would always say something like, "Oh well, Sudden Impact was okay, but Aaron was a good lead singer. Aaron was a good lead singer,"
Yeah,
and
yeah,
that
yeah,
always meant a lot to me, man. That
yeah.
he would always
That's
say
my
some
guy.
good shit about me.
That's my guy, man. I'm trying to get in with him. I'm like, yo, man, you need anything? Just. He's like, all right, man, I'll holler at you. I'm always playing the angle, man, because I don't stop. So, um,
Yeah.
I mean, that's
Hey,
what you
well,
got to
if you
do.
text him or whatever, man,
I
tell him
will.
that we just did this podcast and
Listen, you
holla
think I'm
at
not
his
going to try to
boy
get him on
AK.
here?
Huh?
I'm going to try to get him on my podcast.
Oh, there you go.
You don't do many of them, from what I understand, but I'm going to try to see what I can
There you
finagle out of
go.
him. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
do that. That would be awesome.
I know, I know. Maybe we sneak you up in there. Because I can have more than one person
Yeah.
in this window.
Yeah. Well, you
But
got
Aaron, man,
Donnie on there.
hey, listen, I'm working on Donnie. You know that. That's gonna happen.
Yeah.
2024, it's happening.
Yeah.
No doubt, it's happening. I'm telling you, on God.
Well, New Kids and New Edition are real close now.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, we're all older, right? So
Yeah, exactly.
so it's
They're
just
Boston kids, so.
same with NSYNC and Backstreet. They're all good now. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
before there was like a little beef, but now everybody's good.
Yeah, see,
Um,
all of them can get together, but Sudden Impact can't get together.
it just boggles my freaking mind that these dudes
And
can't
we,
just.
we all came up at 15, 16 years old together, and we just can't get it together.
I don't even know, man. I can't even. It just there's no words to
No,
describe
it's
that. You
not.
can't take
Man.
a weekend, get some stuff down, and take it from there. You don't.
Yeah.
It's like it's. I don't even. I don't know,
It's
man.
just
I
it's
don't know.
selfishness at this point,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
and like I said, the one dude Todd really sabotaged the whole shit,
yeah. Well, you
and
know,
just it was like a feud the whole fucking time. But we
yeah,
had a couple of good nights talking on Zoom together, and it was so much fun because we
right.
hadn't talked to each other in 25 years. It was
Yeah,
so much fun, and I
yeah,
was like, oh man, this is going to be great.
yeah,
Then when it got down to the nitty gritty
yeah.
and being serious and what we got to do, and it just went completely after that.
Right. Well, if they ever come to their senses, you know who to hit up. I'll do my best to try to. But you know, with that
All
being
right,
said,
Marco,
man.
it was good
Oh no,
talking to
thank
you,
you.
man.
Thank you. I know. I didn't know you didn't really want to do podcasts anymore. I wish you would have just told me. I wouldn't have bothered you.
Like you said, man, I'm kind of like a hermit right now.
Well, oh, maybe this is the fucking kicking ass that you needed to
Yeah.
like get started, because I ain't blowing smoke. If your shit wasn't good, I wouldn't be complimenting you. I wouldn't say anything. I know you got talent, and I know you could sing, and I know you could write, and I know you can make beats, and just keep going, man. Keep pushing.
All
You know
right,
what I mean?
bro.
All right, man.
Love
I
you, homie.
appreciate you.
I'll holler at you in a couple days.
Let's talk.
All right, man.
All right, bro. Keep it real.
All right,
All right, man.
peace.
All right. That was Aaron Kane from Sudden Impact. Wow. Wow. I didn't know he was coming like that. I didn't know he was going to tell me some stories. I love it. I love it. He spoke from the heart. That's what I like. I don't like to do podcasts with just cookie cutter questions. That's why last week, thank you everybody for all the messages about the Trevor podcast. I'm humbled. I don't want to do a cookie cutter podcast with the same questions. Trevor's been answering those questions about how he got started and everything. That's why I went deeper into that stuff. So again, thank you to Aaron Kane. Go hit him up on Instagram. It's right there. If you're not watching it, it's Aaron Kane, AARONKANE7. That's his Instagram handle. Go check him out. He puts music up there constantly. Go check out Brace for Impact with Dave Holmes about sudden impact. You'll get a very in depth, um, you know, uh, story about how it went down with them. And there's guests like Joey McIntyre and Yvette. I'm a very successful comedian. She's on Walking Dead panel all the time and everything. So, um, you know, there's it's a great podcast, and I like that stuff, and I like the pop and the boy band stuff. So, while we went an hour and a half, I like to keep it on an hour, but I wasn't going to stop him. It was a he shared some really intimate details about his time with Boys to Men, and so I appreciate that, and wow, I'm a little shocked at this. He came out and he spoke from the heart. Wow. So anyway, thanks again to Aaron. Thank you guys for tuning in. You can find me on all the streaming platforms. My Instagram's at the manager Marco. Um, you can go to my website, hometeammanagement.com, for latest updates on things. My Facebook, I have a Home Team Music Facebook, YouTube page for this not so famous podcast. But go look me up, like the podcast, follow it, comment, give it some stars, and hopefully we keep moving up, because the more stars, the more higher we get in the rankings, the bigger the guest I can get, if you know what I mean. So thank you guys for tuning in on my manager Marco from the Not So Famous podcast, and don't forget, at the end of the day, don't take shit from anyone. Peace.